Greetings for anyone who is tuning in on the live stream or watching this video on YouTube later. This is the Family and Community Engagement Committee of the Harper Board of Education. We will be starting in a few minutes, probably like 5 minutes or so. So if you're just tuning in online or on the YouTube video after the fact, there'll be some dead time here while others join the call, and then we'll get going. And welcome to those who are joining here already. Nice to see you all.
Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are live streaming on YouTube right now, so if you want to turn your camera off and then rejoin at about 5 o'clock, 5:02, we'll get started then. Christina, if you're still at your desk and could pull up the agenda, that would be great.
Yes.
Great.
Oh, that's better. Okay.
All right, it is 5 o'clock. Welcome to anyone who is joining us on the live stream. We will get started with this Family and Community Engagement Committee of the Hartford Board of Education meeting in just 2 minutes or so. We'll give folks a couple minutes to join. For one thing, I'm not yet seeing any other board members. Hopefully they will get there.
I know Miss Brody's joining, so, and I'm texting a few.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We'll give folks one more minute and then get started with introductions. All right. So welcome again. We'll get started, and hopefully a couple other board members will be able to join. Have you heard from anybody, Christina?
No.
Okay.
no.
Well, we'll start with introductions, just in the interest of time. So welcome again. My name is Stephen Tatum. I'm chair of the Family and Community Engagement Committee of the Hartford Board of Education. And thank you all for joining us for tonight's meeting. On the agenda today, we are going to hear usual updates and events coming as it relates to opportunities for family engagement, community engagement in Harvard Public Schools. Then have a spotlight from one of the family and community school support providers at, I'm guessing that it's someone from Burns based on is that correct? Okay. Based on the call. So we'll hear about work that's happening there at Burns. We'll hear a mid-year update from some of our partner organizations and then do our usual reports of the Welcome Center intakes, how our school governance councils are doing, especially at this important time of budget season, and then Title I spending in schools. So if we could do a quick round of introductions, share your name, share your role in the school system. And for today, we'll keep it simple. Share, let's see, something that you ate recently that you enjoyed. Just
Oh.
a food that you've been enjoying that you've been craving lately or that you enjoyed. So again, my name's Stephen Tatum. I'm a board member, and I've really been enjoying smoothies recently, like making yogurt and fruit in a blender. It's working for me. I'll pass it to Caitlin Richard. Go ahead.
This is more warm and fuzzy than finance committee.
Yeah, I try to keep it human here. Yeah.
I like that. We could try that. Keelan Richard, I'm the chief financial officer. I actually have yogurt with me right now, so I'm excited about that.
If you enjoyed was the question.
And if you could pass it to another person on the call.
I will pass it to Christina.
Since I said that,
I
right?
saw her enjoy her lunch today, so
Which is what I was gonna say. They have Chris's Pizza and Deli right here, but on Airport Road, and they have good food, good salads, good pizza. But I had a chicken pesto sandwich with fries. It was really, really good. So I think their food is really good. And oh, never mind. I can't say this part too. They have a good happy hour. Okay. Oh, and I will pass it on to Mauricia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mauricia. I'm the Partnerships and Community Schools Manager for Hartford Public Schools. And I recently, well, actually, it was my older sister's 40th birthday. So she had a full Jamaican spread of a whole bunch of different foods. And I'm still thinking about it, even though it was last Saturday. But I will say that was the last meal I truly enjoyed. And I hope she does it again for next year. And I will pass it to Flor.
Hello, everyone. Flor de Hoyos. I'm the Welcome Center Director, and I have a sweet tooth. So those that know me know that I enjoy like good desserts, and so I'm always looking for places that have good cupcakes and good desserts. I really enjoy them. I will pass it on to Alejandro.
So I don't want to say, and my team knows, the last 3 weeks, I've had to change the way that I've eaten or have been eating in the office because of health reasons. So But if I had to crave, those that know me know that I enjoy some arroz con gandules with some fried pork and some tostones with a whole bunch of heavy salt. And I haven't had that. So that is something that I'm craving. But now, believe it or not, I'm into fruits and a little bit of salad here and there. Not that I'm enjoying it, but and I'll pass it along to board member Wilson.
How's everyone doing? Good afternoon. Stephen Wilson, board member. I've been binging chicken patties and cocoa bread for like the last 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what it is. It's comfort food to me. But today I was craving um Corlissimos out in I don't even know if I say it right. Out in it's a Spanish restaurant out in New Britain. Their food is fantastic. And I ordered a Spanish rice with some salmon and some chicken. And it's like if it wasn't so expensive, that'd also be part of my comfort food. Because it's a lot. But I was craving that today, so I left work, used my whole lunch break to go get it, and I enjoyed it. Now I'm tired and the itis is taking over. So, all right. I will pass it on to, okay, who hasn't spoken to? Yep, I'll pass it on to Janelle Hooker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Janelle Hooker, Executive Director of the Office of Strategic Partnerships and Fund Development for Hartford Public Schools. I love soup. Love, love, love soup. Any type of soup. But Chris's Pizza has this vegetable chicken brothy type of soup that I can eat every day.
I haven't
Every
tried
day.
it. Okay.
And I will hand it over to Jose, Chief Colon.
Good evening, everybody. Apologies that I'm actually in my car. Jose Colon, Chief Operating Officer. I too favor soup. As a matter of fact, today, after a meeting, I decided to stop at Seatown and had some Dominican sancocho, a little bit of that. So thoroughly enjoyed that. And now
Key foods, right?
I guess it's key foods now. You're right.
now.
You're right.
Mhm.
And I will pass it on to Board Chair Brody.
Hello, everyone. And I think I understood the question to be, what have we been craving lately? Is that
Craving
it?
or just a food you've enjoyed recently, yeah.
And they think I'm crazy. So I'm a pescatarian, so I don't eat meat. I eat seafood though. So multiple times in the last couple of weeks, I've been going to Aki Makado on Albany Avenue, and I just asked for beans and rice, and they're like, that's all you want? So that's what I've been popping in there, getting at least 3 times in the last 2 weeks. So who has gone? I don't know.
We still need to hear from board member Francoise Dersteliger, Vice Chair.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to say, so as Vice Chair, what I have been enjoying is during these excuse me, these past few, snow days that we've had, and since I don't get to cook very often, I have been partaking in some, I'll call it big back behavior, and cooking some like really authentic Haitian food, which will consist of rice and beans, chicken, whether it's goat, avocado, I love avocado, salad, all of that. So I have been partaking in all of that. So yes, board member Wilson, you can laugh, but but yes, I've been doing that. So I wanted to just share that.
I'm
And
100% in favor of big back behavior.
but it's not every day, but it's necessary. It's really necessary. Oh, and fried plantains as well with pickles, which is like a spicy slaw that goes on top of that. So it's been pretty amazing. So yes. Did Jackie go? Has Jackie gone? Oh, what were you
I
gonna
believe
say?
she's the last to go. Yes.
Okay.
I know, Jackie, I know you've been sort of dropping on and off. Are you there? Are you able to check in, share a little bit about your name, your role, and a food that you've enjoyed recently?
Hi, everybody. My name is Jackie Aviles. I am from Burns Latino Studies Academy. I want to excuse it. I don't know why my camera's not working today. It seems like that's why I've been in and out. Food that I have enjoyed lately, I would say Spanish food, arroz, and a little bit of chicken stew. So that was really, really good.
Excellent. Thank you all for sharing. I'm sensing a theme of comfort food in this like extended winter that we're having. So it makes sense. And I do like to start with this real human check-in because I think with all the work that's going on and all the hard work that we are doing, it can be easy to just sort of jump into it and forget the real people that are behind it and that we're all doing the best that we can and trying to stay connected in some really challenging times. So I enjoy to set that tone a little bit anyway. And thanks for taking the time to do it. Yeah, and I also love just getting some recommendations and ideas from you all about like spots to check out and places to places to try and shouting out some local spots. So that's pretty great. It is a village and in the community and family engagement committee, like it's nice to lift up not just the school system, but like also anything Hartford. And we'll let a good restaurant in a neighboring town in, Mr. Wilson. That's always welcome, I suppose. Sometimes I ask people for like Hartford specific recommendations, but that'll be next time. Okay, let's dive into the agenda then, and keep the discussion rolling. Ms. Hooker, are you leading us off with some of the updates from your office?
I am, but I'm actually doing a little tweak for us today.
Cool.
And the tweak for us today, once Ms. Santiago put up our presentation, is I really wanted to start today with level setting around our budget timeline. And really make sure that we bring that information up at this committee for all of the families that are listening to our committee to kind of have that grounded information, as well as Board Member Tatum, per your recommendation as well, so we could really make sure that this is here. And for that, I invited our CFO, Richard, for her to be able to at least speak to the broad timeline, hone in on specific dates that we can really make sure our families are listening and kind of do this pitch and this invite and speak to how families can also have their voice on our process. And then I'll take it on our usual agenda that we have. So I am handing it over to our CFO, Caitlin Richard.
Good evening. And we spent almost the whole board finance committee talking about the timeline, but I promise we will not do that here. And we will give you the overview of what we discussed. This is the high level timeline. Somehow we are actually already at March. But we have kicked off the process with school sites to start their budgets. Specifically, the elementary and middle schools have been working on theirs. High schools have been working on their schedules. So the most important thing there is that students are getting their course requests in for next year so that high schools have all that information, they can build schedules and know what they need in terms of their staffing. And then what we'll be working through is we are putting together essentially our estimate of expenditures, what we need to run the school district, that we will be able to share in the beginning of April. Then you'll see that the state will conclude their legislative session. The city will then vote on their budget, and we will do a final vote on our budget in June. And so if you go to the next slide, it has some of those key dates so that everyone can be aware. Like I mentioned, the elementary and middle schools have been working on their budgets. They turned in a first draft on Tuesday. So this is the time that they've touched base with SGCs. They should be meeting with them really over the course of March. That should be happening. High schools will be doing their drafts a little later. Like I mentioned, they're making sure they do the schedules first to make sure that students get all of the courses that they need. We had a big day yesterday at the Capitol. So for anyone following the news, there was actually 3 rooms full of people. They had to open a second overflow room who were testifying related to a bill that would change the state funding formula to adjust with inflation. So there was 10 different districts. We had our student leaders, our students testified. So that was a really exciting moment that students were involved in. So that's kind of some of the piece that will be happening this month is schools working on their budgets with SGCs and then some of that legislative advocacy. And we're going to make sure to share any key dates, times for testimony with folks, similar to this past Wednesday. Then the next key date is the mayor will release his recommended budget on March 23rd. We also learned today the city will have their first budget hearing on April 1st. So we will add that to this timeline. We just learned about that. And then we as the board, so essentially what we've heard from, we hear from the governor, we hear from the mayor, and then we will put out there what our itemized list of expenditures is, so what we need to run the school district. And we will host a public hearing community forum on April 8th. So we've done 2 touch points so far, community forums, one in December, one last month. And so this will be another touch point with the community to learn about that budget proposal and hear all of your input as well. So it's really twofold. You can give input in your individual school site through the SGC. Then we have these bigger district-wide touch points. We will then meet with City Council to discuss our budget. And then they will deliberate on that, have another budget hearing in mid-May, and vote on the budget in mid-May as well. As I mentioned, we're also tracking the state legislative session. That will be done May 6th. And so once we know what's happening at the state level at the beginning of May and the city in mid-May, we will do our final budget vote once we understand some of our revenue sources from the state and city. So that's the timeline. Multiple ways to get involved with your individual school site with one of our community forums. And then, like I said, we're going to be sharing those dates for testimony. That's really important because what we're doing is advocating for the resources that we need to run our school system. And so having family voices, community voices in that is incredibly helpful. It was really cool to see the students yesterday testifying to change the state funding formula. And then oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say the next slide is another piece of this that we're doing is what we're calling the community pulses. And so you might have gotten text messages through Parent Square from us just asking a question. And so we've gotten a lot of folks, hundreds of folks participating, and we want as many as possible. What we're doing is reading all of that input to see what families are saying. We've been asking questions like, what are some of the most important resources in your school? What can make it more difficult for you? And we're looking at that really to highlight both successes and help us in the advocacy movement to say, hey, here's some of the good stuff happening, but also to know where there's certain challenges or things that we could be doing better. So it's part of the budget process, but more than just finances looking at it. And so Janelle and her team are looking at it, different areas across the district to understand what families are saying. So this is a quick, easy way. It takes like 30 seconds. It's just one question and you type in your response. And then we look at some of the summary of that and those individual quotes from people. We're also going to be soon making this into an interactive dashboard so you can see what other people are saying to make it feel more conversational. But this is another way to participate right now in the process by just sharing more about your experience, what you value the most, what could be improved.
Thank you so much, CFO Richard, as we really wanted to elevate opportunities that our family members had to be a part of the budget process. So here is another touch point, which is very easy. Today, I learned that the survey actually takes 25 seconds. I tested myself. And you can speak into, like if you get it as a text message, you can speak into it and it will type your answers. So if you really don't even want to write it on your phone, you can just speak into it and it will type up what you said. So very excited about the opportunity to continue to learn from the community so we can get better and ensure that we're working towards how to provide what our students would need to show up as their best self. Thank you so much. Next slide. Okay, as we typically do every month, we want to be able to share our to-do list for the month of March. And on this slide, I did add the event that we had yesterday around the public hearing, which our CFO Richard just shared, of how engaging and excited it was to have the amount of people that show up, the overflow room, and the fact that our students had an opportunity to speak. Today, we had our Read Across America Day, which the kickoff event was in East Hartford this year. It's a collaboration that we do with United Way. And it was actually 3 districts. So East Hartford District, Bloomfield District, and Hartford District. We had our kickoff event, as I said, at Latinos for Education, Advocacy, and Diversity in East Hartford. And then our second graders across the district were able to get volunteers from different organizations and entities, as well as staff from the city, to come out and read to them. March 10th, we're having 2 events. One of the events is our office have been working collaboratively with our counseling department across our high schools, our 11 high schools, to target our high school seniors that are interested more in careers, certificates, trade, military, to be able to host an event where we can bring individuals from those different areas in front of them to help do some planning as they're on track to graduate this June. So on March 10th, we're having an event that is specific to our high school seniors. We're partnering with the city of Hartford, and so it's going to be at Parker Memorial from 9:30 to 1:30. And as of this morning, we have a total of 22 different vendors that are signed up to be at that location to collaborate and share not only information about trades and careers and certificates, but also a few employers that are looking to do interviews and be able to connect with our high school seniors so they could have opportunities upon graduation. March 10th, we also will have our parent and caregiver engagement panel that we host each month. This is a virtual meeting and is a quick touch point for us to be able to share information with our families around projects and things that are happening at the district, get their input, and ensure that we still have a pulse on what families need for us to focus and work on. March 14 will be our Breakfast and Learn event, which the Office of Strategic Partnership has been hosting this year. And what we're doing is a summer fair for our families in combination with an employment fair. So this is going to be an exciting event. It's going to happen at Buckley High School. We're bringing in, we have 15 vendors that are going to come in to speak or share with our families summer employment opportunities. So from camps to summer youth employment, opportunities for families to be able to start that process and sign up and not wait until June. And we're also partnering with Electric Boat, who is going to be hosting a employment fair, not only for seniors from Hartford Public Schools, but we're also going to open it to families to be able to access trade and opportunities that they have at this time. On March 18, and I think we're still working out on this particular one, where we were going to be partnering with Hartford Parent University to have a community conversation with parents. So that one is from 5:30 to 7:30. On March 23rd is our monthly partners meeting, which is our opportunity to provide technical assistance to all the different organizations that partners with the district. And that happened at Connecticut State Colleges at Capitol from 11 to 12:30. And then I wanted to raise that on April 8th, we will have our 3rd community budget forum, which would have another touch point and opportunity for families to be a part of our budget process. And as usual, this particular slide have the events that are happening by zone on the bottom of it, where you can see where your school is and the different events that you are able to access per school. So this is where you can find that information. Next slide. And at this time, I will hand over this portion of the presentation to Alejandro Martinez.
Good evening, everyone. You can go to the next slide, Christina. So as we provide our monthly update, we're going to start with a revision / addition that was done to Title I funding. We actually had a couple of schools that decided to add some additional funds from their general ed budget into parent activities account. So if you notice, our previous parent amount was 118,936 with 48 cents. That went up a little bit over $2,500 with the three schools, which are Dwight Belizzi, Breakthrough South, and HMTCA decided to add some additional funds to their parent activity line. So that brought it up to $121,781. As of February 26th, we have $43,019.61 in expenditures, and encumbered $35,555 with 65 cents, and total money still available $40,205 with 74 cents. I've already brought in FCSSP, sent email to school administrators to make sure they start finalizing their plans for that additional $40,000. I did email Christina the school by school breakdown. Most of the schools are already at 100 or near 100% expenditures. Our office are currently working with school principals and FCSSPs to ensure that the rest of the funds are being spent, because as you all know, the goal of this department and the district is to not have to return any funds at the end of the year. In addition to that, I wanted to add that as far as workshops, 141 workshops have been provided to families across the district by schools. And in family events, we've had a total with the community partners, we've had 534. And then that you're able to see the breakdown of per month for the entire district. Any questions at this particular moment? Okay. If no one has any questions at this particular moment, I would like to take the time to introduce what I consider one of our fabulous FCSSPs who has been in the district for a gazillion years, as I say. So without further ado, Jackie Aviles, she is the FCSSP at Burns Latino Studies. Ms. Aviles?
I'm here.
Yes,
So,
welcome.
yes, like he has said, I've been in the system proudly for 27 years. 19 of them, I started as a paraeducator, 14 years in Hartford Public High School, and other schools like Noah Webster, HTLA, and other schools, and, working summer jobs here and there. I've been in this position for 7 years now. And at Burns Latino Studies, I am very proud FCSSP, and I take the moment to honor, because it's a hard work, and we put in our effort to make sure our families are well attended to. Some of the activities this is a year-round process. I see it as June. Everybody thinks it's over. That's when the job starts again. The planning and the never stops. Things might change here and there, but it never stops. So one of the things I do at my school to welcome our families every year is we do an annual meet and greet where we have the teachers, we have our families, we have our children attend, and we make sure teachers get to know their parents and engage the parents and engage the students even before we start heading into a classroom. We also do kindergarten orientation, and that was one of my babies, because I think we have to welcome our families. And yes, we got students that have been here from kinder to 5th grade, but at the same time, that's when they come in. That's when we welcome them. That's when we start working with them and start teaching them, about attendance, about policies, about stuff, and we offer services. So, basically I get together with the kindergarten teachers, the staff that is going to be working, the village, which I have the proud honor of having the village as a inside partner in the school. So we work closely in that. So we learn that families start from that before they even start in kindergarten, they know what we have available for them. So that's one baby that we work proudly with. I have had the honor now for 3 years to be part of the Puerto Rican Day Parade, bringing families to the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And not only bringing families that walk with us, but walking that parade and seeing our families and having them see, oh, there's Miss Jackie, as everybody calls me, Miss Jackie, and seeing the Dr. Cristofaro, our principal, and seeing other staff members and the kids, and then they're excited to say on Monday, oh, we saw you at the parade, we saw you at the parade. So that even makes it happier that we walk all that time and we were there for so many hours, but it pays off that our families see that we're there for them. One baby that we have here, and we're very proud, and we even invite other people to attend, is our trunk or treat. We invite community partners. We invite our people from the board, and they are proud to come in and help us, because I think having a secure place, I know it's not a holiday that a lot of people want to celebrate, but I'd rather have our babies come in to a safe place where they gather that candy, they have fun, and they're in a safe location. So we tend to do that, and we've been getting more and more people every other year, because we don't only open it up to our students and families, we open it up to the community. I let them know you're coming in to a safe space, and this is how we want to treat it, safe. Police is always here. Fire department always comes. So we have other community partners attend, and more people want to follow that tradition that we have here, because it's just putting them in a safe spot. We also do the Hispanic Heritage Flag Parade. We started this, it's going to be in our 4th year now that we have started teaching our kids, because this is our population is majority Hispanic. We teach them the countries, their flag, to be honored, to be proud of who they are, where they come from. We always teach with everything that's going on that we are safe, that we don't judge anybody for what the status is or anything like that, that we want to have them safe. And so that's the way to teach it. We do it around the school. Parents come in, community partners come in. A lot of the community just opens it, come out to the sidewalk to see us do our parade with our flags and be proud of it. And we have music, we have our national anthem and all of that. So it's a great place to be at. We also have our biggest event is our holiday family celebration. This happens in December, where we invite our families for dinner and dessert. And we have over 300 people attend that because it's for our families, and we're very proud to and honored to do that for them. Following our tradition, and again, having the majority of our kids being Hispanics, we have followed the tradition of keeping the Three Kings Day toy celebration or giveaway. I make sure we talk to Toys for Tots. I make sure that I find community partners like the Connecticut State Police this year. They were able to give us a lot of toys. We always try to get each student one toy, something that they are and one thing I want to share with this board is we have kids who have never received a toy from their home, and they mention it, and we have been able to give them something so that they feel good about it, because there's at the end of the day they are still kids, and it's so sad to see them say, I didn't get nothing and you get something here. So we follow that tradition, And that's the day we have. We don't do anything for Christmas. We do that for Three Kings Day. This year, I'm proud to say that from Emmanuel Baptist Church and from the DDS Engineer and Construction Inn, we were able to gather 113 turkeys that we distributed to our families for them to have a turkey dinner. And some of those partners even gave the opportunity to bring other stuff in that we were able to give our families for a dinner. Workshops that we offer here, like I said, first, I have a great partnership and they're in school. So we have a great relationship. Some people think I don't work for the board. They think I work for the village because that's how close we are. We're one. We're not Burns or village. We're one. We're just working with our families. So we have created, we allocated to have our workshops done together, taking advantage that we have in the village parent educator. So she is certified and she does the common sense parenting. That's a workshop that is designed to learn how to successfully respond to different situations that we as parents face with our children, other than, it gives you alternative on the behaviors, on different situations that you may have as behavior with our children, and we teach them how to. I have taken the class many times because one thing I do is if I have one parent sitting there doing a class, I'm sitting there right next to them so they know that they're supported, so they know they have somebody there. So we offer that. We're proud between Miss Bermudez and I from the village. We created a volunteer training for our volunteers, teaching them how to be a better volunteer so that they know the rules, so that they know that we are mandated reporters. We teach them how to be a mandated reporter. We teach them the do's and don'ts of being a school. We teach them professionalism. And I'm proud to say that I have now 3 classes where we graduated, and I have 4 parents that are now either paraeducators and or are working in food services, and they were volunteers in our school and they took the training, so they kept moving. So I'm very proud of that. Families that then think and they say, we always tell them we can help you out, but we can't pay your bills. So when they come to telling us, oh, I can't be a volunteer any longer because I got to work, I let them know, you got to support your family, and that's fine. And I'm very proud. That's what we're working on, getting you moving on. And someday I'm going to retire, and you could take my place. We also have the family read, which gives this, we do a book. It's very good. I had even tears coming out of my eyes in some of these because like we take a book, we do activities, and sometimes it hits us personally on what some of the experience that we have faced. So, and I'm sitting there if I have a parent in a workshop, I'm sitting there right next to them, helping them or teaching them or supporting them or learning with them. I'm proud to, I'm using the word proud a lot, but it's because I have in this job been successful at creating. I have a great relationship, not only with the village, but with my principal, Dr. Cristofaro, and he supports me in all that I bring to him if it's for the good of the kids. I know some parents, especially in this community, they don't have a lot of money to pay a daycare. So I created the Rise and Shine program, which is a program for students, and we open our doors to them at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we do different sports or movies, or we do arts and crafts, we do gaming, we do a lot of stuff with them, and that's helping the families that do not have that budget to pay a daycare because they are very expensive. So they could be here, and the students are here, mommy and daddy drop them off, they're going to work, and then at the same time, we take care of their kids so they could do that and they could go to work. We have been successful in opening after school basketball skills program and development kids club and stuff like that. And in collaboration with the village, we have the Blessings in a Backpack program, which is a snack pack served every Friday for the kids that they could bring home from K-3. The Emmanuel Backpack Program, which is a backpack that we fill with food, and that's for the entire family component. And it goes home. If there's like 2 adults and 3 students, we try to fill out as much food as needed for the weekend over that. And then they return the backpack, and it goes back home on Fridays. And we also have Burns Food Pantry that is not only for our school families, but it's for the community. People call, they make an appointment, they tell us how many people there are in the family, and you are welcome to receive that food. I've been successful at sharing this with a couple of FCSSPs, and they call the school just to, if they are in need of food, they also refer their families, and we've been very successful at helping them. Even when we have been very low in food, we try to communicate with people to get donations, and we're very proud of it. The good thing is when we have been running low, a little angel comes around and donates, and we have food for our families. At this point, I could answer any questions. I don't know if I was doing it too quickly, but I am very proud to, answer any questions if you need to. And just say, that FCSSPs are a good thing to have at schools, because it's that partnership between the families and the school. And sometimes people do not want to open up to anybody at the school, but they do open up to our FCSSP because they see us as one of them. I try to every morning and every afternoon every morning when they arrive and every afternoon before they leave, I try to be at the door saying good morning and saying goodbye and have a good day. And I'm available for anything. So I'm visible every single day.
Mhm.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you, Miss Jackie, for sharing such a good overview of like all the work that you're doing there at Burns and the ways that you are really, it sounds like, rallying support for the students and families there in lots of ways and really meaningful ways. You described it earlier as a year-round effort, and the planning is continuous, and then went on to demonstrate that must be the case if that's all you're doing. So
Yes.
big gratitude for the ways that you're supporting that school community from us.
Thank
Does
you.
anybody have any questions or comments that they'd like to share? All right, I'm not seeing any questions, but just thanks again for sharing some of your experiences and the work that you're doing. It really does help inform our perspective. I'll speak as a board member at least. It helps inform my perspective about all the great work that is happening in the schools and all the work that there is to do to support our students. So thanks for
Yeah, so
everything, and
thank you guys,
keep
and
keep on
keep
the
on
good work.
supporting. And sometimes for some of us, it's not a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job. It's just sometimes it goes beyond that. So I appreciate your time and everything that you do, and every advocating for us and our department.
Yeah, you're welcome. And your passion comes through your voice, even though we couldn't see you on video today. So you're coming across loud and clear.
Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome to stay on the call if you like, or if you'd like to end your day now. I'm sure that it was a long one already for you. You're welcome to hop off the call as well.
All righty. Thank you so much. Yes, it did start at 6:30 in the morning. So have a good night, everybody.
All right.
Be safe,
Good night.
but good night.
Thanks for the time. All right.
Next
Thanks again,
slide.
Mr. Martinez, for the work that you do to facilitate us connecting more with the SSPs. So appreciate it.
Thank you. And before we go on I just want to make her day is really not ending. She actually helps run the after school program for extended hours there at the school. So her day actually ends close to 7 o'clock this evening. So that's how dedicated Ms. Aviles is. And so, But we're going to move on to SGC membership and where we are as of February 26, 27. So you can move over to the next slide, Christina. So just an overall SGC membership as of the 27th, we have 30 of our schools that have the full SGC membership. We have a total from last month to this month, we had an increase of 8 parents that were elected to the SGCs of their schools. Teacher membership increased by 2 additional teachers, and community partners increased by 4. And I want to say, even though this data says February 27th, right, we have an additional school that had their elections yesterday. So that number actually, as of today, went up to 31 schools at full membership. So I want to be able to make sure that that number continues to increase as our department and school principals and FCSSPs are still working to make sure that all of our schools have a full seated SGC. The 4 schools that were added were Maria Sanchez, Capital Prep, MD Fox, and Burns. And those schools were missing like 1 or 2 members. So I'm glad that they were able to increase those numbers and elect parents, teachers, and community partners. In comparison with data from last year at this particular point, we had 24 schools at full membership. This year we say, I'm going to say 31, even though it says 30 there, I'm going to say 31. Schools between 9 and 13 members, we have 14 last year. This year we have 6. We want those numbers to continue decreasing. And schools with 8 to 1 member, last year we had 0. This year we have 1. And those schools that we're currently working on and still assisting are HMTCA, who currently has 11 members, Montessori at Batchelder, who currently have 10 SGC members, Pathway has 11 members, Rawson, also 11 members, Weaver has 13 members. Weaver had an addition of 5 parents this month that were elected. So we're super excited about that. There's just 1 parent short of being a full SGC. So I know that the team, the principal, and the team over at Weaver is really working hard this month to ensure that we have a full SGC at Weaver. Want to give credit to those schools that increase membership this past month, which was Weaver, Capital Prep, HMTCA, MD Fox, Pathways, Burns, and Sanchez. In addition to that, I'm not quite sure if this was mentioned during our last meeting that I was not present, but we also have online all the SGC dates, times with Zoom links, or if they're in person for each additional school. I know that we've already had conversations with principal, because I know when the information went out, some principals changed some of the dates and didn't notify us for us to post them the correct days online. Just know that we're already working with our school administrators, just in case there are any changes to the SGC, for them to get in contact with me directly. So that way I can share the information with Christina, but also with Deb Zimmerman from our communication department, so that our information on the website is as accurate for not only the board members, for all members of the community, because SGCs are open meetings to the community. In addition to that, I also provided Christina with the SGC chairs of each school, and I've shared that information also with Deb Zimmerman, who manages our website, so that information can also go on our website, so that it, and the SGC information, you'll find the school where they represent, their name and their email, so that way if anyone has any questions for them directly, those could go to them. I know I'm jumping the gun, already going towards the end of April, but we are having a principal hiring process that is actually part of the SGC, one of the SGC workshops that we conduct, that is actually being conducted by our HR department. And that training is not just for SGC members, it's open to anyone, to everyone, but it's one of those trainings that we have to have our SGC members be a part of, since SGC members are part of the interviewing process for any new principal that we plan on hiring. And I think that wraps up my presentation for today. Any questions?
Thank you, Alejandro. Yes, Mr. Wilson, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Tatum. Can everyone hear me? Hello,
Yes,
can you hear me? Okay,
yes, we
all
can.
right, good.
Loud and clear. Yep.
Cool.
Yes, we can hear you.
I've got a couple, I guess a couple questions and maybe something you can clarify for me. Let's start with SGC elections. I know we talked earlier in the school year in terms of we started off the school year having elections, trying to get everybody up to speed. And I'm hearing now, as we discuss, some members are being elected later on in the year and so forth. And I'm assuming we're talking about officers within the SGC when we're talking about elections. Is it possible to have, especially at the elementary level, is it possible to have those elections later in the year so that we can start off the new year with a fully functioning and running SGC instead of having to wait like a couple months to sort of get everything in order? I know there might be more high turnover at the high school level, but I would assume in terms of like parents and stuff, elementary wise, we could keep those parents, and that may not necessarily be an issue. Your thoughts? I'm sort of asking about that.
No worries. I'll share two things with you. So one of the things that we did, that I did last year, as I wrapped up my first year in the role, was we actually had school administrators, FCSSPs, reach out to SGC members, right? So the parents, the teachers, and community partners, and have them talk to them to see if they were returning back for their second term, anyone who were elected. And what I can say is that we were sitting in a very good spot when we finished off last year in June, but there was such a high turnaround between the summer that I have to say that less than half of those parents, teachers, and community partners that said they were committed to finishing up the second term, they were no longer in that particular role or in that building at the beginning of the school year. So that was a hiccup that we actually went through, that we thought we were in a good spot, right, to ensure that we can have our full SGC by the beginning of the school year. So that was a hiccup that we went through last year. This year, the plan is to have SGC elections in May, and that's actually per our policy. To have that in May so that we can hopefully have a full membership SGC by the time planning happens during the summer / and the school year begins. I want to make sure that everyone keeps in mind that we do have some of the issues or obstacles, right, that we have is when parents move to a different school or out of the city, when a teacher is transferred from one location to the other. And so that's why we always have continuous elections, because we want to make sure, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that each school has a full seated SGC, and we're not waiting for either the end or the beginning of the school year, especially now with budget season coming up. We want to make sure that parents are informed of the process. And so it's an ongoing election period, but just know that at least last year we put that step in place, and this year our team is focusing on making sure that elections actually do happen in May, so that if we do have to have elections in September, they're very limited.
And I appreciate that, and I definitely understand the some of the roadblocks that come with it. Thank you for clarifying and making me aware that that is part of the the protocol to have it towards the end of the year. And any assistance in ensuring that I'm here for it. The other thing that I would also, I guess more of it's another question and also an ask. We talked about having everything up on the website and having the whether it be in person or having the Zoom links attached. I guess the question is because these are supposed to be public meetings, should the Zoom links, should the rooms be private or should they be open? Because
No.
I've joined some where I had to wait for someone to, sort of to let me in. And it took like 30 minutes before somebody realized I was sitting in the lobby. And I didn't necessarily have someone to reach out to. But just in thinking about how open those Zoom meetings are, should it be a private? Is it all right? Are we violating any rules by doing that? Or should all of them just be open so that we can pop in as necessary?
Yeah. So the SGC and just for clarification overall,
Yep.
SGCs are public meetings, right?
Yep.
They're public, even if they're on Zoom or if they're in person. Anyone can walk in. It could be either a parent, a community member, a partner, and be able to listen to the SGC meeting. When it comes to any voting, that is when the voting is not private, right? They just don't have a vote. So we one of the things that we've been having conversations with the school administrators and reminding them that these are open meetings. I think for years people have gotten used to, and this is what I'm hearing from other administrators themselves, right? As the years have gone by, they're like, well, we just meet. The 14 of us meet, right? And so we don't need anyone else. And so and we've had, Janelle and I know, to be fully transparent, we've had some pushback from some administrators that have even said, well, we're going to change the way that we run our meetings since they're public. And we're like, no, sir, no, ma'am. You run your meeting as usual. And so that is something that if you don't mind sharing with Christina, board member Wilson, what particular school that was, just in case it's one of those schools that we're having a hiccup with. But we would definitely send a reminder to all administrators to notify them that these are open meetings to anyone, once again, via Zoom or in person. And that is something that some administrators are transitioning into. Most of them without hesitation. We're still getting some hesitation from some of them, but the policy from the state level says that these are open meetings to everyone.
Yeah, so and I appreciate that. And I have heard about some pushback. Francois has given me some other perspective on why there may be pushback in regards to that. So I'm always appreciative of that. And I've actually witnessed it at one of the first ones that I attended, where the particular principal decided to kind of get on his soapbox about the school because I was kind of in the meeting, which is okay, right? I want you to advocate. It wasn't directly towards me, but and I expect that, but I do want these principals to get used to the SECs being open, but also that board members may attend, and we're just there to listen. So I would also ask that you communicate to them across the board as well that we're just there to listen. We're not there to have any input or necessarily judge, or you don't need to use it as a way to necessarily complain. We want you to go about the business so we know exactly what's going on in your school, the good and the bad, the mitigation plans. We want to be totally, as much as we can, dialed into what's going on in the school so that when we're making decisions, we are informed about each individual school. And I will continue to, push that narrative as well. But I would ask that, you also let the principals know that we're not there to manage or micromanage or any of that, type of deal. This is their meeting. This is their school. They run it how they see fit within the district rules. And we're just there to actually listen. We want to hear the interactions between the parents and the teachers and school administrators. So, okay, that's all that I have. I appreciate you taking the time to kind of flesh some of that out with me.
That
You're
was
welcome,
good
Board Member.
feedback, Board Member Wilson. We actually have, I'm actually scheduled for a administrators huddle tomorrow. Mr. Martinez and I, Alejandra, I hope you remember. So we will definitely add this. We have a AM huddle and a PM huddle. So the administrators are being split, and we are talking about guidance and things that we want to make sure that they're mindful, reminders. So this was perfect timing, because then we can add that to our list of things.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Wilson, for your advocacy on that piece and encouraging board members to be a presence at those meetings. I would echo the wanting to reassure principals and SGC members that although I can understand why a board member showing up at the meeting would feel like putting people on the spot in a certain way, that it I think I can speak for us that our intention with that is, as Mr. Wilson just said, to really just be informed by a more on the ground perspective of what's happening in the schools, and not to have any kind of oversight. It's really just about being more connected and being available as board members for whatever needs or concerns want to be raised in those meetings. So yeah, it'll be a growing edge for us as we try it out, but I think one that is definitely for the betterment of the functioning of the whole system. All right. Any other questions or comments about any information that's come up so far? All right then. Ms. Hooker, I see you off mute. Are we hearing the community partners update now?
We are, and Ms. Marisha Morris will be the partner, the staff that will be supporting this presentation, but I would like to be able to do some level set and tee up, and then be able to have her do that update. So Ms. Santiago, if you could please go to the next slide. I'll try to be as quickly as possible. I see you're looking at time. Okay, so we definitely know that we have 4 priorities and objectives for the district, and we're working to ensure that all of the partnerships that we do are in line with them. We have our whole and healthy students priority, which kind of focus around mental health, emotional well-being, and things to that nature. We have our expansive learning and opportunity, which kind of focus around exposure to real world learning, after school programming. So an opportunity for students to have that hands-on component. Skill and diverse team. So we also want to make sure that whomever we're partnering with is honoring this, as we know that we have over 85 languages within our district. So we want to have a reflection of that as well in our partnerships, and that we are bringing skilled and talented individuals. And to really make sure that we are being mindful of priority 4, which is the operational and management excellence, which is where we're making sure that we're being equitable, that we're being transparent, but that we're actually putting together a structure and holding all of our partners accountable to what we need as a district, and what we're looking in terms of return on investment of the collaboration, not necessarily funding, but the collaboration. Next slide. As a district, we have over 200 partners with us at this time. And when I say over 200 partners, the way that you got to think about it is, while we speak most of the time about lead partners, which is what people are used to, right? So our FCSSP just spoke about the village. Those organizations are charged or responsible to broker additional organizations to ensure that our schools are receiving as many supports as possible. So they can bring grassroots organizations, smaller organizations to ensure that they're offering the service. But we also have financial organizations that are helping with maybe financial literacy, or we may have other organizations that only are push in. So maybe it's a workshop, maybe it's a one-time type of approach, maybe some mentorship. So this is the list that we are managing and kind of just looking at, and there is a variation of how the partnerships are happening at our district, and there's a protocol and a process that we follow. Next slide.
That's a really cool slide, just by the way.
Thank you.
Effective
So when we talk
presentation.
about partnership, right, we may have some partnerships that are pertaining to state. So DCF or the State Department of Education, like what are the things that we need to make sure that we do from that lens? The City of Hartford, we have been collaborating for the past 2 years heavily with the Department of Families and Children and Youth, as well as the Office of Community Engagement, to really make sure that we're leveraging those resources as well for our families and students to have as many opportunities as possible. We then have our community-based organization, which we do on Memorandum of Understanding, and these are nonprofit organizations as well as the grassroots organizations that I just mentioned, and or any philanthropic community as the Greater Hartford Gives Foundation maybe are supporting things that we have in the district, and or the H. Vance Foundation, just to list a few, right? For the purpose of today's presentation, we're going to focus on what does partnership look like from a community-based standpoint, and what are the different structures that we have in place to support us track the impact that they're doing with our students. Next slide. So I spoke about a process and structure that we do. So in order, so for those of you that are listening to our committee today, if you're interested in partnering with Hartford Public Schools, on our website, you are able to go to Hartford Public Schools and go to the section of menu, and then on menu, you would go to the section that speaks to, oh my God, leaving me, family and community resources, and then you'll be able to see a section that speaks to partner with us. The partner with us will allow you to answer some questions that help us understand what is it that you're bringing to the table so that we can assess, are they aligned with the school improvement plans of what you're looking to do. We then will establish, we have a process that we go through that, we vet that, we speak to the principals, we really want to make sure that things align, and we have a memorandum of understanding that we go through. At the district, the past 2 years, we have been able to codify the process where we're now making sure, or we're working very strategically to ensure that every single one of our schools have representation of academic enrichment. Here are the buckets that we're looking for: academic enrichment, experiential learning, integrated student support, family engagement, career and workforce development. So when you complete this MOU request, Ms. Mauricia Morris or myself would be the ones that actually go through, meet, review, and see that these areas are following within these buckets. And we're able now to tell partners, a lot of people are typically interested in either Weaver, MLK, Milner are kind of like our top schools that people are typically interested in partnering with. But because we're tracking information now in a different way, we're able to really say to partners when they come in, is like, I know you're asking for that school, but that school at this time have these type of partners in place. And we have these other schools that do not have the service that you're bringing. And we definitely believe that it would be a better opportunity or a better fit for you to be at a particular school. So it allows us to really have the conversation in a more strategic way and ensure that we have equity, that we are providing services across all of our schools and not necessarily just a subset of schools, and try to ensure that our students are getting the most out of these partnerships. Next slide. We do go over expectations with our partners. Why? We want to make sure, and we really are being as transparent as possible. While we want everybody to come and partner with us, we want to make sure that it's in line with our academic achievement goals that we have as a district. We want to make sure that they are in line with the school improvement plans. We want to make sure that we are vetting individuals that are coming for liability purposes. So an MOU, or a memorandum of understanding, is required. We are making sure that we provide monthly technical assistance. Every month I share in our FCE committee the meetings that we're having at Capital Community College. And this is an opportunity to ensure that our partners understand our practice, our policies, our procedures, and things that are happening in the district, the data that we're seeing. We do have our data tracking mechanisms that help us hold them accountable. We require 2 reports for the year. We do a mid-year report and an end-of-year report that each partner that has an MOU needs to submit. And then there is a data tracking system where we want to make sure that that is our checks and balances, and what we're receiving from the report, we're able in any given time of the month be able to check to see how many students we're really tracking and they're working with, and what the dosage of services that they're receiving. The program needs to ensure that it aligns with the plan for schools excellence and accountability, which are the school improvement plans for each school. We also conduct site visits. So we do 2 site visits for the year. So Ms. Morris and Mr. Martinez at this time are conducting school visits. And these school visits is to ensure that we are tracking to say that what's on the MOU is really what's happening, that we are, administrators are working collaboratively with our partners, that things are really functioning, that the number of students that they said that we're going to work with, that we're on track to service those students. Are there any bottlenecks that we need to kind of mitigate or work with them on? And are the FCSSPs being that conduit or that support or that mediation person between administrators, families, to be able to come and access these services? So these are all the different things that we're putting in place, that we're sharing with partners when they submit a request, when we're doing the one-on-one meetings, when we're really checking to ensure that these are pieces that we need to have in place to ensure academic return on investment of our partnership, as well as what can we do as a district to ensure that the partnership can continue or get better, and what are some of the things that we can do and provide our partners for them to share with our families and students the best tools, services, and programs so they can be their best self during the school day. Next slide. At this time, I will hand over this particular section of the presentation to Ms. Morris for her to talk to you about the number of students that we're tracking, and then we can answer any questions.
Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Mauricia Morris, and I'm glad I could give some insight about our Transact system, which serves as a data hub where community partners log specific services they provide to our students, ranging from student activities to referrals, academic enrichment, clubs, etc. You could see under Zone 1, it's 362 students reported. Under Zone 2, 260 students. Zone 3 is 501 students, and Zone 4 is 546 students, which makes a total of 1,669. By organizing this data by zone, like you see in the slide, we can accurately track the total number of students impacted through these community-based organizations. Below each zone, and student count of the services given, you will see links which list the specific partners currently operating within the school zones. With that, we can see our collaborative network and the vital support systems available to the students in every zone. Go to
Ms. Santiago, can you click on one of those so at least we can share what that means? And I think it's open. It should be open. There you go. For individuals to see within that particular zone, those are the bigger organizations that are there. And then each organization then brings in either grassroots organizations to help provide the workshops, the wraparound, the after-school activities, the one-time things here and there. And when we say that we're tracking 1,669, these are the students for the organizations that we have memorandum of understandings for at this time that are being vetted and tracked through this office. We are now opening for any questions that anyone may have.
Real quick question. I feel like I've seen on the website somewhere a map that like a map of the zones, but
Mhm.
I'm having trouble finding it right now. Can someone point me to it?
Yeah. You want it here, or you want me to be able to send
It
it?
might be under
to you?
transportation, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'll
believe
look for
under
it while.
transportation, it asks for the address of, so it's like a zone finder.
But it's also, if we look at the map that we created for individuals to see the partners by school, we also have that map there with the dots of like the different partners. Miss Santiago, if you go to
I think that's the one.
I know what you're referring to. One second.
Family engagement, and then you go to family resources,
Family
go
resources?
down. Nope, go scroll down and then go to, nope, keep scrolling.
No.
Family and community, and then you go to, I think we have it on the is it get involved? Click on the plus for get involved. Okay, so get involved can show where the partner with us is, but the actual, there you go. That's the MOU. Sorry. So people can see where they would answer the questions for MOU. That generates an email directly to us to be able to schedule the one-on-one meetings. But it's the resource. Just because we're looking for it right now, I can't see
I know,
it.
right? I do know under transportation it does have the regular map here, if that eventually.
Okay,
But
yeah.
yeah, this is the might be mean by zone, but I know there is, you're saying.
Then there is a tool that you can see the partners, but it's on the family and community engagement. I think it's because.
Yeah, it's just I remember seeing it in one of these meetings maybe a year ago and like thought it was a really valuable map and just would like to be able to reference it more.
We will link it moving forward just to make sure that we continue to point people to that.
I've been watching the I put the link in the chat earlier when Alejandro was referencing it. I've been watching that get involved page that has some of the SGC information get more and more robust over the last couple months, and so I've appreciated seeing those updates.
Awesome.
But anyway, I'll stop taking up the time. Does anyone else have questions about the partnership report?
No, I'm all set.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
And I guess if I could, Mauricia, the program that you referenced, the Transact, you said that is what all the various partners are trained to use so that they can log the services that they're providing.
Yes, we actually have a man named Jacob Cornish. He works in the data and accountability office. He trains the partners how to use Transact, and he's always available for their questions to help them navigate through the system and how to input things the correct way. So he's such a vital resource to this team.
Cool. And these numbers here you said were the number of students that were like logged as having received services of some kind?
Yeah, in any type of way, yes.
Okay. But I assume that there is data that breaks down like what type of service or what.
Yes, of course.
Cool. All right. I have no other questions. Thanks again for the information. And I know, Flora, you've been sitting here for over an hour waiting to have a eat. So let's move on to the Welcome Center report.
I'm always last, but it's because I have the shortest reports. Good evening, everyone. I will be talking about the Welcome Center report. And as you see, we will start with the intakes for the month of January. In January here, we have a new chart that, as a reminder, before I begin, you all receive these reports on a monthly basis. And we work really hard to ensure that we have them done on time and sent over to Christina so that you can look through them. And if you have questions, you can bring them to us here at this setting, at this meeting. So that's for January, we had the reasons. Here we have 12 reasons. Transportation and homelessness are always pretty high. As you see, 33% were transportation requests or questions or complaints, whatever comes our way, it's reflecting on there. So we have 33.9% there. On the homelessness, we have 26%. And then we go down the list from bullying to safety transfer, general information, choice and enrollment, school supply, hygiene kits, student transfer, principal and staff clothing, and bus passes. And on the next one, I'm going to give you the numbers. So if you see on the right-hand side, we had 510 intakes for the month of January. We go on to the next slide. The year before, we did have 569, so we had less this time around. And I was trying to look at what was going on last year. There were a lot of fires last year in January, February, and March. And so this year we've been pretty good. We have had fires, we have had less. And we've also had fires that have come through with no children in those families. So that has kind of helped out, and that's why you'll see the reflect on the data. To the right-hand side, I'm going to go through, while we have the top 3 areas for transportation, there were 172 inquiries. For displaced family support, 132 displaced families, and for bus passes, 26. So moving forward from that list, we have 24 intakes for clothing assistant, 23 for principals and staff, 23 for student transfer requests. No, we haven't moved on yet. Okay. 15 intakes for hygiene kits, 13 for school supply, 12 for school choice and enrollment, and 11 for general information. Also, to facilitate these reports for you, we put the links right there so you can access them if you didn't have a chance to see them. And then for the engagement and services provided, the top 5 schools for elementary were MD Fox, Naylor. So MD Fox had 35, Naylor 31, SAN had 26, Global had 23, and Wish had 17. And for middle school, we had Burr. I'm sorry, I read Global wrong. It was MD Fox. Oh yeah, no, Global was right. Burr was 20. Global for middle school was 8. Milner was 7. McDonough had 5, and HMTCA had 4. And then for the high school, we had Buckley with 42, Weaver with 29, Hartford Public High with 12, HMTCA with 4, and Classical with 4. And then out of district, we had 101. And for new students, we had 25. We also had 42 students that were identified McKinney-Vento for the month of January. And then we had donations from a teacher in Kinsella Elementary who donated gently used coats, mittens, hats, and backpacks. And that was for our displaced families. And the next slide. And here we have the Family Resource Centers. Burns Latino had a total of 1,446. These included the social and support services, families and training, childcare services, and educational program. Fred D. Wish had 267, also social and support services. They had school age educational programs and food, housing, and clothing. And Rawson had 279 with the social and support services and families and training. Sand had 75, also social and support services, early childhood services, medical and mental health services, housing, food, and clothing support. And Maria Sanchez had 536. They had before and after care services, youth development program, school age activities, families in training, and social and support services. That concludes my report. Any
you.
questions?
Yeah, are there any questions about the Welcome Center report? One quick question from me. If when you do an intake, do you like the pie chart that we saw? Do you only tag it with one of those reasons? Or if I called because I had a transportation issue and I also needed a hygiene kit, would that get tagged as both?
We tag them separately so that we know what services are going where. Right? So if you're calling for 2 or 3 things, we want to be able to say, well, this family had this amount of needs. So we try to tag them separately so that it reflects on the data.
Does that count as one intake in the total numbers, or would it go in as 3 intakes?
Correct. So the total number will be 1, but on the breakdown, you would have it counted differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah,
the total number, we're looking for it to be unduplicated, but then we also want to know as individuals are coming in, what are we trended on? So that's the reason why we have the breakdown, so we know what type of triage things are happening and where our volumes, and it allows for us to sit down and either now start thinking, like, if we know the month of April is heavy in certain areas because we knew what happened the past 2 years, then we're able to ensure that we're ready, as the team is a small but mighty team. So I may need to deploy Martinez or whomever else to go down and support because we're planning based on what the data is telling us.
Yeah, it's always this happens every month that I receive this report, but just the number of intakes that we get for support around homelessness is always
it's usually the highest.
Sobering to me. Yeah. Yep.
And those are only the ones that come forward, because there are a lot of families that do not come forward. In fact, there was a family that we heard that were homeless, and I contacted the mom, and then our liaison contacted the mom, and she refused the services. Refused. She did not want to be tagged. She did not want her son to be tagged. She was like, nope, I don't want any of that. And so, and we knew about her because we got connected with her, but there are a lot of families that we do not know about.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's 6:30, and so housing policy is not something that this meeting will tackle. But here we are. Any last thoughts from the team or from my fellow board members? All right, then. At 6:30 on the dot, it's a miracle. We will conclude, and I will look forward to seeing you all at the next meeting.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a good evening.